Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of Survival Multiplayer Minecraft. This episode I want to begin with something I should have done quite a while ago, and that involves all the sand I am currently smelting. You might be able to guess what it is, just based on this. Also, I'm not entirely sure why all my chests have disappeared. They're still there, they're just transparent. It just seems like a visual glitch, doesn't seem to affect gameplay other than that, so I'm not too concerned about it, but I'm not entirely sure what's going on, so maybe someone who has some insight can let me know on some kind of bug that happens with servers. So I'll come back once everything is smelted and explain my plans in a little more detail. So, if you haven't guessed already, I want to fill in the most essential part of any greenhouse, the glass. And you can see I've already filled in the front part with glass panes. But for the sides I want to fill it in with white stained glass blocks in order to contrast with the front, maybe add a little bit more solidity to the build, and blend in with my roof choice over there. So yeah, I'm just going to quickly fill in, and you can also see I'm using spruce fences as framework to sort of give it another color to look at. While I build this, I have some things I'd like to bring up. Firstly, I got Optifine, finally, for 1.14.4. It makes the game a lot smoother, and hopefully you'll experience less jitter in my recordings, which was bugging me for quite some time, especially when I tried to be peaceful and just build on my own. Secondly, I've been watching some of my older videos for a while now, and I've noticed a trend of me rushing through things quite a lot. Now I'm wondering, do you prefer me rushing through things and getting to the point as fast as possible? Or do you prefer me meandering a little bit more and having more of a conversation in order to get to the same point? Now, having a conversation and meandering more would mean longer episodes for the same amount of building work, but it also means, more personal and more personality kind of show-off, I guess. So, tell me what you prefer in the comments, and if I remember, I will make a poll that you can answer based on what your preference is, and I've just trapped myself here. So, I'm going to finish filling this in, I think to 2, and see if I like it, and then I'll fill the last one in if I do. And then I'll come back to you with what else we'll be doing this episode. But yeah, like I was saying, don't be afraid to leave your thoughts in the comments. I appreciate it when people are open and honest with me. It helps me make my content better and satisfy more viewers. This was definitely the look I was going for, so I'm going to go ahead and finish everything else and come back once it is complete. And there we have it, a fully encased greenhouse. Now all we need to do is add the door and some interior trim to clean up this little mess down here. It doesn't look very good as it is. So I'm going to quickly add some spruce stairs to spruce it up, and a spruce door made out of trapdoors and such, and I'll come back when I have finished that. So I've installed the trim on all sides, and I've just been working on the door, but it's a little bit off. It seems almost too dark. Now, this is exactly how I envisioned it, and it's turned out fine. It just doesn't seem to fit well with the overall build. So I think I'm just going to leave it here and continue on to the next thing. But before we move on, I'd like to just do a quick flyby, so let's see if I can get through this door and turn around. Yeah, that was looking pretty good. Now it's a little bit hard to see the regular glass from afar, but I think that makes it look a little more interesting overall, so I think it's done what I've designed it for. So now I want to move on to the next thing, and as you can see right here, there's a villager patrol, but I've installed flower beds, or just dirt beds everywhere, and I intend to fill them with, well, flowers or leaves of the oak variety to kind of give it a little bit more life, but not too much life. I want most of the life to exist in the greenhouse, and that's why I replaced the dull oak leaves with a bright bamboo. And that's also why I told you a few episodes ago that the oak leaves would return, and this is their chance. So I'm going to quickly run around and fill all those beds that you briefly saw with various greenery and come back and see if I've done any good. So here's the first bunch of flower beds done. As you can see, I've tried to make some variation between berry bushes, rose bushes, peonies, and my own little custom trees featuring the brown leaves. I'm pretty fond of these. I think they add a nice bit of color and they're not too busy, so I'm going to keep building them up there, and a couple over there, and then I'll come back and show them off a little bit. Well, I was just looping around the back of my base. I've come across this. Winter is coming, with a small army chasing a figure of me. Someone's pranked me again. Although this prank I am definitely going to keep, as it fits perfectly with what I have planned for this area. I love this. This is awesome. This is what is so great about playing on a server with other people. So, the flower beds are complete, and they're not much, but they are something. I've got these two here, these ones up here, just over here, and some over here as well. And then the ones on the other side over there. You can sort of see them, the same idea as here, except there's a little bit more of them because there's a larger open space. And here they are up close. I figured it's just easier to see them in person than from a distance. Also, I keep forgetting that I have a zoom function. I haven't had Optifine since 1.12, and that's been quite a while. So now that that little errand is finished, I want to bring focus to the nether portal area. Specifically, I want to tear these arches down because I don't think they fit very well, and they're just too clunky and stand out too much. They don't really bring anything to the build, so I'm going to quickly tear them out and think about what other things I can build here that will look better. Now that we have some room to breathe here, I'm not going to do anything with it because I have no idea what to build here right now, so I'm going to let this sit and move on to yet another project which involves this pathway here, which up to this point has just sat here as a dead end. What I want to do is extend this pathway to the end of the sand, and then create a small dock and perhaps a small boat in order to complement the rest of the build, give it a proper entrance looking thing, and then fill this area with cargo. So let me get to the dock part and I'll come back with some more ideas. Here we are on our newly created dock, and I'm pretty happy with this. I used trapdoors instead of slabs, even though they're a little bit thinner, just because of this gray line going through it. It kind of looks like reinforcements to me, so I think it was more appropriate to use for a dock. Also, you can see here I've put dirt out for future plant beds in order to complement the ones on the ledges so they don't look too awkward and out of place. So the next step here is to just decorate this area with some crates, perhaps a small house, maybe a tent. I'm not entirely sure. I'll see what works and see what doesn't, and also perhaps add a small boat here. So I'm going to quickly do those things and come right back. So I've pretty much completed the dock area, and as you can see here, I've gone for a shed. Now, it doesn't have the fancy stone base as the other ones, and I think that makes it suit the docks more so than if it did, because it's more of a working build and an open build, and it doesn't house any people. I also did a ship here out of oak wood because I thought it would contrast with the base a little more and make it stand out a bit better. And it does that, although I think it looks a little bit awkward just with the busy background and everything. It's a little hard to tell the detail until you actually look at it hard, which I think ruins it a little bit. Also, I used glass as the rigging, which doesn't quite work as well with the new Minecraft vanilla texture pack as it did with the old vanilla texture pack. And Optifine doesn't really help the fact with its fancy connected glass textures and stuff. But I'm going to keep it for now. I might tear it out later, but otherwise I'm pretty happy with this area. Boat complaints aside, the next thing I want to tackle is this area over here. I want to build another shed, possibly smaller than that one since this area is slightly less expansive and it's near the edge, but a shed all the same, to house sort of similar things, maybe some more gardening materials, perhaps. And then I want to add some more plant pots here and just decorate this whole area here and make it look a little more filled. So I'm going to quickly do that and come back again. So here we are. I've completed this area and I'm super happy with it. I've put composts here to signify that this sort of is a place where you can come to maintain your plants, however that is done, the big mystery it is. And I've filled in all the plants from over there to all the way over here, and I really enjoy these plants. I think they tie the base together nicely with a much needed pop of color. Now, I just want to go find my elytra and give you a bit of an aerial view of this, and then we can move on to our next little errand. Here we are, high in the sky, and I'm definitely really fond of this view now. Much more so than before. The plants really do tie the whole base in together. That's enough of that for now. What I want to focus on next is this area over here, which I've started to fill the lake in. Now, this area right now is just kind of blank, and I want to kind of fill it in with some more sheds. Maybe this is like a maintenance department of the area or something. So I'm going to finish filling this lake as much as I can and build a staircase down there joining the paths and kind of lay out the foundations of the small area. So here's the base layout I've come up with, and I've decided to keep the water, totally not because I ran out of sand, no way, no, just because I like the water there, nothing else. I've put two layouts of sheds, one facing this way, one facing this way, just so I can open this area up and fill it again with junk, I guess, just like over there. And I've also put a place where I can build a dock on the end of this area to kind of supplement the shoreline, to give the impression that there is another area that things can be dropped off, maybe like a backup cargo sort of holding area. Can't really think of the words right now. So I'm going to quickly build the houses and then come back and explain a little more detail what I want to do for decoration. So I finished the two sheds. There isn't really too much to say about them because they're the exact same model as that one over there. Also, Ginger seems to have run off and followed me out here. I think I accidentally took her out of sit mode when I was in the storage room. She is one of my cats. So what I want to do now is scatter this area with sort of barrels and hay bales and stuff, and then this area I want to do sort of a little dry dock. I don't really know how I'm going to do that, but I thought, just add some more pizzazz, some differentiation. So I'm going to try to build maybe a half-constructed canoe or something. But we'll see how that goes when I come back. So here's this area completed. This side is pretty standard stuff. It's just got a bunch of junk strewn about, which I think fits the area nicely. This dock is a little bit thin for my liking, but I think it fits also just because of the width of the path is different than over there. The dry dock, I haven't actually built a boat on it, and I don't think I will, just because it completes what I wanted it to complete on its own without a boat, which is be a unique structure that fills an area that hasn't occurred in the base elsewhere yet. And I think it looks great. So I'm going to quickly grab my elytra, which I'm actually wearing, and fly about and give you an aerial view of what we have accomplished this episode so far. From up here, I can definitely say that I am very pleased with what I have done this episode to the base. Oh, that's a surprise. Anyways, yeah, I'm super happy with this. It definitely makes the base look like it is lived in, especially by botanists, because of all the plants, but I think that is a great thing. I really would like to build more, because I'm kind of on a roll right now, but I have run a little short of recording time, so I'd like to wrap it up here. If you enjoyed, please let me know down in the comments. Leave a like if you want. If you didn't enjoy, let me know down in the comments of what I can do better. If you have any other suggestions for future episodes or feedback of any kind, please let me know in the comments. I really appreciate that sort of thing. But for now, I'd like to bid you farewell, have a fantastic day, and see you next time.